Hello everyone! Welcome back to another Kaeya main Chronicles video! Today we're going to finally, and I mean finally, finish this chapter or this act of the Fontaine story. Last time we kind of just were stuck in the trial room for the entire time. Learned that Focalor and Farina are two different people. What else? Neuvillette got his full power back. We finally saw Skirk and, defeated the whale thing. And now we're gonna go meet up with Farina, and it says that she'll most likely be here at Poisson because, the accident, the disaster that happened that hit here. Oh no, we're meeting Navia. Wait, who? I thought we were gonna meet Farina. I guess we're just meeting Navia. Alright, I guess I forgot. I was wrong.
Oh, it's you. What brings you all here?
Hey,
I want to make sure everything's alright over here.
I'm here to update myself on how things are going here. Oh, the Fatui are here too.
Let me introduce you. This is Mr. Garunt Snezhevich. He represented the Knave in sending us a large amount of supplies, and is helping with our work. Our residents are hard at work as well. Thanks to everyone, work is progressing nicely. We've lost a lot of people, but we're moving forward. That will have to be enough.
Hello, Miss Charlotte. I'm a big fan of yours. I especially like that article you wrote last year about Fontaine's stray cats. But if you don't mind, could you not emphasize our role too much in your report? It's not charity we're doing here. We just happen to share the same interests as the Spina.
I get where you're coming from. I'll keep it as simple as possible. Or would you be willing to feature as friendly neighbors?
That would be fine. Thanks.
Oh, you're back too. How are
Oh, hey,
things?
Clorand.
We finished laying down the construction materials. It'll be another hour before the workers are able to go over there.
Huh? You're here too, Clarand?
Well, her reputation's greatly risen after that whole duel business with Miss Farina. So she's here in Poisson to wait out the heat. All right. She really came here to help me out.
There's too much to consider in the reconstruction of Poisson. The Spina has need of more decision makers.
So what's gonna happen now? Does Fontaine
happen to be connected
is
to
gonna
Mr.
have
Palace.
anyone to rule over?
Oh, wait just a
I
moment.
know
Before
Focalor
I
was a
ask
true
you
god and everything, but
questions,
Farina
you know
acted like the
about how you
god
felt
for
before the duel,
many
about what it
years
was like
and was
facing
put in
down a
that position
god.
of power.
There's lots of exciting
So does
material
she have
there, I
like
bet.
nothing now, or is she gonna be like
Forget it.
standing
I'm sure
in,
you can
acting
find a
in,
better
like
theme than
helping?
that, Miss Charlotte.
I see you're the same as always. Couldn't you do me a favor, for Navia's sake?
Well, if we're talking about doing things for my sake, you might as well just take a few more photos of me. Or of the Traveler. It's better than wasting time persuading Clorand at any rate.
Of course I will. I'm not gonna let her off that easy. All right, then everyone who wants to be in the photo, gather up and smile.
Cheese.
How did it go? Was it a good shot? Did Paimon look cute in it?
Paimon, you never looked that cute.
Not bad. Your addition really helped the composition of the picture. All right, hang on a moment. Let me snap a few more shots.
Let me take the shots of natural disasters. Charlotte takes more pictures of Poisson to the clicking shutters of
All right,
something.
that should do it. I'll be back here later anyway, so let's call it a day.
They always make those screens go by so fast. Like, let me read them,
You're very
please.
quick.
Speed is of the essence when it comes to the news, and freshness is the key. Also, not to brag, but I'm pretty good at building connections. Who knows? I might eventually get that interview with you after all, Miss Clorand.
Wow, you really do have that never say die spirit. I'm impressed.
I'll hazard a guess that this is how you got that interview at the Fortress of Maripede.
You already knew she was going.
Whoa, you're well informed. Let me make a guess too. I asked Sijuin, who told Monsieur Neuvillette, and he told you, right?
That's a very complete information chain.
In truth, all Monsieur Neuvillette asked me was, when did the fortress become so friendly towards the media? I told him that it was best not to speak too soon. There's no guarantee that Wriothesley will make a personal appearance.
You're right. I've got to treasure every moment I have with them. In which case, I'll be making a move first.
Stay safe now. And tell me if you hear anything interesting. I'll treat you to afternoon tea in exchange.
Go to the Fortress of Meropide. So we're just gonna tie up everything. Let's see what they're having a conversation about.
You seem curious about the fortress.
Of course. That Wriothesley. I still remember going down to the fortress to grill him for information on my father's case. Boy, did he take me for a ride. Without telling me anything, of course.
But he did invite you to tea, didn't he?
He invites
Two
everyone to
large
tea.
pots
He
of
just
it,
likes
in
tea.
fact. It was good tea, though.
I have to agree. The tea there is very good.
Speaking of that, would you like to have some today? I mean, you've got time, right?
Well, I'd be partial to some shortbread.
Wow, it's like we've got a menu or something. Sure.
Good.
What flavor of biscuits would you like, Mr. Snezhovich?
Me? I'm fine with anything. But I would
Trying to get a
prefer
good blocking
chocolate,
composition,
should you
but I
have it.
can't get one.
All right, leave it to me.
I'll go over the newly arrived supplies with you later, Mr. Snezhovich. We should be able to finish the preparatory work today.
That works great for me.
Is it just me, or did you get a new lipstick?
Well, how did you notice
I
that?
did. It was a gift from Sijuin. Want to give it a try? I think the color would suit you too.
Alright, let's leave the girlfriends in the third wheel behind as we go to the Fortress of Meropide. We're probably gonna talk to Wriothesley, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, how was everything?" And we're like, "That's good." And he'll be like, "You want tea?" Is Sijuin gonna be down there? She was in the court, so I thought she'd be up. You know, I didn't think she'd be down here. Oh. Alright, here we go with Charlotte.
Wow, guess we're here again, huh? There's a real nostalgic feeling to this place.
Yes.
Looks like you've been
Nostalgia
missing
for
us.
prison. Hey, Wriothesley.
Duke! Did you come all the way to the entrance to greet us?
No.
Of course. I'm here to welcome you and our dear Miss Charlotte, whom our good head nurse recommended to me.
It's an honor to finally meet the much-rumored Duke. Thank you for consenting to my visit to the fortress, sir.
No need to thank me. But that said, I shouldn't be the focus of your interview. I trust you recall our agreement?
Of course, of course.
All right then, this way.
Oh, Juryu. Lavorne? Lorraine?
Hey, no
Lorvine.
need to be so
Lorvine.
nervous. I've already taken all the photos we need. Miss Charlotte, do these pictures really need to be published on the cover of the Steambird?
It would seem that Miss Lorvine doesn't want her face to appear beside that of Mr. Jurier,
Sir, please don't say things like that.
Jurier.
I
said
Like
Jurier.
Mr. Jurier denies it.
Jurier.
Might this interview be very important to you then?
No, I just... This is my first time being interviewed, and I'm very thankful to the Steambird for...
Now, I might not look it, but I actually did meet Mr. Edwin once. And I'll be honest, I enjoyed chatting with you more. You've definitely got more of that genius vibe going on. The boat that brought about a miracle, the ark that saved the people. Why, you recreated a myth back there, like an emissary of legend. Still, if I might ask, where's that flying ship now?
Huh! Looks like Charlotte's trying to get herself another exclusive scoop.
I have to apologize, but that ship is presently in the bowels of our factory. I'm afraid it won't be easy for you to get a shot of it.
Really? Well, then in that case, could I have an interview with you to make up for that loss?
Ha! No. She really doesn't know how to squeeze opportunities for all they're worth.
You already know my answer, I'm afraid. Best you interview our head nurse instead. Or perhaps you'd like to take another photo of this couple of researchers?
Did you really have to use the word couple? Well then,
Fine.
two solo
This
photos will
group
do.
of researchers.
Is my hair messed up? Please, someone help me have a look.
No, your hair looks
You're
fine.
getting pretty lively here. We've seen this kind of thing before.
Very lively in a prison like this.
Oh, seems like everyone's here.
Ah,
Would any of you
Sigeween!
like to try this new drink I came up with?
She's so adorable. I just want to hug her.
Sigeween.
Hey, Miss Charlotte. Why don't you, take some pretty photos of our head nurse? Sure. Come on, Miss Sigeween. Over this way. Let's find a brighter spot.
She is the brighter spot. Literally.
Oh, sure. Do I have to smile? So, how have things been at the fortress?
Okay, why is it
Same
pausing
old,
for
same
long?
old, as you can see. Fontaine's undergone some changes, but this place is still more or less the same.
I mean,
Other
you
than
guys
that
kind of
flying
basically a
ship,
detached
I got a
society
tad
anyways.
Too much attention, I think.
That's why I decided to let the interview go through. We should direct more public opinions toward the behind-the-scenes heroes. Am I right, Mr. Jurrier? Miss Lurvine?
You're too kind, sir. I believe that you too should have your day in the sun. Not that you would want that, which is a pity.
I'll just leave the spotlight to you two.
Talk with Risley for a while and share news from above ground with
I
him.
see. Lots of things happened that day, huh? Anyway, regarding that Harbinger, I'm not sure you remember, but his 3 young followers are still waiting for his return.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk to Linny,
Sure did
Lynette,
win
and
them
Fremine.
over, huh?
I'll tell them that there's good news and bad news. The good being that their boss seems fine, and the bad being that they must face extended sentences for abetting his escape.
Oh, actually, what about you? Are things gonna change for you too?
What change can there be? The fortress will keep chugging along, and so will my duties. As to what Miss Farina's departure will mean for the nation, and if our laws and governance will be transformed, we'll leave those to the folks in the overworld.
AKA Neuvillette.
Photo shoot's done.
It's just gonna be Neuvillette doing all of this. Poor guy, he's gonna be more swamped.
Good. In that case, let's call it a day here.
Thanks for your cooperation. Come on, traveler, let's go. Till next time, everyone.
There'll be a next time?
Maybe. Who knows? I might write a story about the underwater factory next time. Until then. All right. Last stop, the docks.
She really knows how to take opportunities, just like we said.
Oh, you know, I'd love to see you in one of Charlotte's photo shoots one day.
Is that really necessary? Our line of work doesn't really require much photographing.
It's precisely because we don't need the picture that they'll have value as keepsakes. You don't really look all that opposed to the idea, you know.
Maybe I'm just happy that I managed to once again avoid the spotlight. I think this interview went well either way.
Yes, you successfully kept prying eyes away by using Mr. Jurrier and Miss Lurvine as shields. Very good.
You should be happy for them. They have a bright future ahead of them.
Oh. Okay then. I am going to be talking to everyone afterwards. Who's at the Maritime Harbor? Oh, it has to be Linny, Lynette, Fremine, because we met them there. That's why I thought we were going to see them, but I thought we were going to see them in front of the orphanage, like the House of the Hearth. But it makes sense that we're going to see everyone where we first met them. Technically, we didn't first meet Navia there, though. We didn't first meet her at Poisson, but since the thing happened in Poisson, we're going to be talking to her there. Whoa. What is with this lag? That's weird. What the heck? Alright. I'm gonna blame it on the whole big thing that's running behind me. The fountain. Fountain. Oh my god. The waterfall. That's what it is. The waterfall. What can I say about? Because we gotta wait for
Come on,
this lift
let's get moving.
anyways.
We're
What
not
can I
frozen in
say
place after all.
about this story quest? Honestly, so far, it's probably one of the best ones Genshin has had yet. Presentation-wise, animation-wise, from what I can see from some of the cutscenes. Story-wise, again, how they pulled off a lot of things, especially what they did with Folsolor and Farina. I'd say that's so far one of the biggest things that's happened. And giving us more lore, I guess, but giving us more about the Hex and Zirkel witches, which I appreciate because they haven't kind of been mentioned except like the events. So them being mentioned here and talked about was a fun like reminder and a fun thing to know that keep in the back of the head the Hex and Zirkel wishes. And we got more about dragons because we got some of them in Nihida's story quest, her second one, but we didn't get that much in that. Now we know that the Archons, their element, the element that they control over, was taken from Dragons of Sovereigns, and that most of the original ones have died out by now. Sadly, but they have. Alright, here they are. Jeez Louise, why is it lagging? That shouldn't be doing that. I guess because I haven't been here for a while or something?
They really are here! How did you know?
I stalked them. I mean,
Navia mentioned that she stayed in
yeah.
touch with Linny and the others after working together. Apparently, they've been at the docks distributing these strange pockets the whole time since.
Oh yeah,
Traveler,
the
Paimon.
things for the
And Miss Charlotte, too.
freaking pocket dimension thing they were handing
Would you like
out.
a magic pocket? What sort of gadget is it? It's
Pocket
a
dimension.
wondrous bag that can be used to carry many things. The water level has returned to normal, but if you see any of your things floating around, you can use this to carry them. Or you could trick a friend into doing it for you. Trick a friend? I wonder which of my friends would fall for that.
Paimon. Paimon. Don't look at me, look at Paimon.
You could just make a friend like Fremine here. Isn't that right, Fremine?
Is this what you meant by I'll help you make some more friends?
To be honest, that sounds pretty sweet. Could I have your contact, please?
Sure. Please, write down my address.
You sure are working hard to help Fermine socialize.
He was the one who proposed doing this. He even wants to assist in our magic shows.
Oh, that's great, Fremine. Sounds like that would suit him.
Yes, I was planning to first introduce Pear as an assistant, and later Fremine himself. In the future, I think we can leave underwater escape magic to him too.
He is a diver, so that makes sense.
Would anyone want to see a diver escape underwater?
Oh, it'll work out. Every journey begins with the first step. He'll become a part of our show eventually.
Lynette, could you come over?
Well, how did
Miss
you
Charlotte
walk
says
all the
she
way?
wants to take a
Oh.
picture of us.
She's getting
Got it.
somewhere for better lighting.
My, that Charlotte is rather perceptive. She got rid of everyone the moment she realized I had something to say to you. So, how have things been, Traveler?
I'm doing alright.
Father says that you did a great deal during the latest events. She's very grateful for your contributions to Fontaine.
I'm glad she didn't come out as a boss fight.
So, what's
That's mostly it.
Oh, I guess you haven't heard. Well, after Lady Farina left, Father and Monsieur Neuvillette opened negotiations, during which he gave Fontaine's gnosis to her as a diplomatic gift.
Well, they need the Gnosis more than the actual god.
a gnosis?
We already know they're gonna get the
Yes,
notice,
I
the
was quite
Gnosis
surprised
anyways.
at
It's
first
like
myself.
the first time we're
But
like,
when I
oh,
thought
stop
it
him.
over,
Second time, like,
there were
oh,
actually
stop
a
him. The
number
third
of
time,
things
oh, stop
going
him.
for
And
it.
then Sumeru's just,
It could
just
have been done as an
yeah, they'll
apology
get
for
it.
the incident with Lord Child, or
Yeah,
as
that's
thanks for his
fine.
help in tying the
And now Fontaine's just, here, take it. We don't really care.
Furthermore, Father did also lend significant aid to Fontaine and Poisson.
Well, that's true, but this is a gnosis we're talking about. Doesn't this
Again, have you seen all the other gods? They've just basically given away their noses. No size. No seas? No seas.
Heard that it seems that Monsieur Neuvillette has had a significant change of heart regarding the matter.
So there's some reason for this that only Neuvillette knows about?
Yeah, because
I
he got to
suspect
talk
you'll
with
have to ask him
Focalor.
about that yourself. Yes, speaking of which, I did see him strolling around the entrance to the fortress of Meripede a while back.
Isn't he real busy and stuff? Paimon didn't think he'd have the time for that. But back to the topic. The Gnosis was given to the knave, right? What about Child?
Is he dead? I know he's
They
alive.
say that he's returned to Snezhnaya to recover from his wounds. I hear that the recent disaster really did a number on his health.
Well, I guess I can now call him one of my war buddies.
That's true. When you think about it, we've had loads of run-ins with the Fatui. To think we'd be allied with them this time.
Really? Didn't we allied with like
So shocked
Scaramouche a
by
little
such
bit?
simple switching of sides?
Oh, hello. That Arlecchino? Sounds close to her. Oh yeah, that is. Okay, that is Arlecchino. I have to say this now. I love Arlecchino's design.
Well, what do
Especially
you
the pants.
Come to the docks to see how
I
my
want
children
I
are
want the
doing
pants
and
like
make a
hers.
traveler
I don't know what
purchase.
style that is, but I
Please do
want
not
those
pay my
pants.
accomplishments in Fontaine too much mind. I would have done them regardless.
Are you going to take the Gnosis back to Snezhnaya?
That is our duty as harbingers, yes. Don't be too preoccupied with sides. The goal of the Fatui concerns not a single place or person, but the entire world. With such a grand goal in mind, it is inevitable that we must wear many masks. Switching my masks is something I've always done.
Will you keep to your position?
Well, that depends on many things. No one truly knows what the future holds. What good is honesty if you can't rely on it forever? As for you, I very much look forward to our next collaboration. Good things cannot be achieved alone, and you've proved yourselves to be great partners.
Actually, I just remembered something. Please help us deliver this. Oh, there we go. We give Child his
A vision?
vision back.
All right. I'll remember to return it. Thank you for keeping it safe for him this entire time.
And that's a wrap for me. Huh? You're...
Let me get a picture of you, please.
Greetings, Miss Journalist.
Hello. If I'm not mistaken, there are diplomatic channels I'll need to report to take a photo of you.
That is correct. So forgive me, but I will not be able to serve as a subject in your article. However, feel free to write as much as you'd like about our dear magicians and our upcoming rookie talent.
I will.
The sea breeze is quite pleasant. I shall continue my walk while the weather remains so agreeable. Farewell.
Farewell, Father.
Oh, she has such an intimidating presence. I didn't even dare to take a picture. Thankfully, I've already wrapped up all my pre-scheduled interviews. Thank you all. This'll be more than enough for me to write about, I'm sure.
Don't be too nervous. Why don't you take a magic pocket before you go? Here, Traveler, Paimon, you take one too.
Ooh, freebie.
To move things about?
That's right. Funny. I was giving out magic pockets when we first met too. And what do you know? I'm doing the exact same thing right now. So many things have happened, but the pockets
It's almost
are
like
still
the game is
pockets.
over here being like, hey,
I
this
guess
might be
this
your
must
last
be
time to see
life.
them in
We
story-wise.
will all follow our own paths. And
I'm saying in
serendipity will
story-wise
lead you
because
to your
event
fated
stories,
friends.
they will 100%
Alright,
pop
then.
up again.
We'll be handing out pockets in some other districts later, so we'll get going now. Have a good day, you two.
Alright, see you, Lynette, and Fremine.
Shall we go see how Neuvillette's doing? As long as he's not so busy that he doesn't have time to chat anyway.
And we're going to meet, I think, our last person, which would be Neuvillette. At the Opera Epiclese. again, I think Fontaine has to be going up there for one of my favorite regions, especially because of being able to dive. I mean, diving underwater is pretty cool, but just the aesthetics, just how everything look, all the architecture, all the story behind things, how everything feels. I've noticed that just like each region has been getting more, I guess, interactive, you can call it like that.
What's the hurry?
Whereas like there's more things to interact with the environment or change things around the environment to help you figure out like puzzles or get chests. And I think that's great because looking back at just Mondstadt, there wasn't that much. Leeway, they had a little bit more. Inazuma kind of upped it up. Sumeru had much more, especially just kind of traveling wise. But now Fontaine is just almost a lot of things like just out exploring and you see a chest and you just see some weird new mechanic. Like more than like 100% of the time you have to interact with that to get things, and it just teaches you more of the
entrance to the fortress.
You know, just more interactive. I love it. How it's just the game's getting more interactive, how it's getting much more better with a lot of the things, because again, Mondstadt is starting, and then Leeway is like a little bit up. Inazuma, the whole new thing. I brought it up. Sumeru brought more things up, but I think Fontaine is now getting to the like pinnacle point of where we're starting to hit endgame soon.
I didn't know you were such a
Again, I would say like, you know, from Fontaine then on would be like around endgame. But, you know, the beginning would be Mondstadt and Mondstadt to Inazuma, and Sumeru to Fontaine could be middle, because Natlan down. Because Natlan is the last place to get a Gnosis from. That's the last place we have to go, and last place for a Gnosis. So once they have that, when we go to Snezhnaya, that's when the end story really just starts to kick off. I guess they'll start with Snezhnaya, the end story kick off, but I'd say with them showing how the story has becoming more fleshed, how things before that they've planned out has becoming more to fruition. Like with Mona mentioning like her master and having that in place, and then, you know, also an Alice and the Gold and Rhine-Daughter connect them together with this like coven of Hexencircle, like the Hexencircle coven and everything. A lot of other things that they have mentioned in other parts of stories. Not a lot of things from Mondstadt, Leeway, Inazuma have carried over. It's more like Sumeru information, if it's not just exclusively the desert, that has carried over. And it's just, again, I feel like it's getting much more better and like fleshed out a lot of the worlds. Well, a lot of the regions, when I say worlds, a lot of the regions, which is amazing seeing like this. I'm talking about it like the game's ending, which is not, but seeing how far we've come, seeing how this is the 5th region out of like 7 regions that we'll go to, it's just impressive how much of improving the gameplay, improving story-wise, how they've laid seeds, and now it's just starting to sprout and grow. Being here before Inazuma came out. Yeah, I was here before like Inazuma came out, Chasm came out and everything. I think I was around when Zhongli's second story quest came out. I think I was around there. No, I do remember the summer event appeared, but I wasn't. I was there before it started. But I don't know, around that time zone or whatever, around that time period. But just initially having Mondstadt and Leeway and Dragonspine, and you know, just having those kind of starting areas was just, you know, honestly already like pretty good. And then seeing how Inazuma amped up some things, especially like puzzles aspect. And Sumeru, I think they got a nice balance of kind of, there's some puzzles, there's some not, and some other world things. And Fontaine now is just building upon more, especially the animation too. The animation has gotten much more better and beautiful that I've seen. It's just, the animation has been going up and up, and I think it's because the team has gotten more used to know how to do things and experimenting with some new things, especially since Fontaine would be the perfect place to experiment with some things, especially because of the theater, the theatrics, the opera, you know. Again, this is, it's like hitting me that this is the 5th region. One more region for Gnosis to go, then Snezhnaya, and there is. So I have a feeling that Neuvillette's probably going to tell us about, you know, ask questions like, oh, you have questions about this or that. So.
Paimon didn't think you were going to have free time this hour of the day.
Really? Oh, I suppose you must have met Mr. Linney. He took the time to greet me earlier when he passed this way. In any case, you came at a good time. I was just considering reaching out to you to set up a meeting, so I may explain some things that I haven't had the time to before.
Hell yeah. Drop it on us. Drop some stuff on us. Drop us some lore-wise stuff. Drop us some story stuff. Come on, let's go.
Alright, let's have it then. How was Fontaine actually saved? The whole business is still quite the mystery to us.
It is strange how words can often leave a bitter taste in the mouth when it finally comes time to say them out loud.
Neuvillette sighed softly before telling the truth concerning what he saw that day. Focalors deceived the Heavenly Prince and used Furina's endless performance to save Fontaine.
Whoa. So that's what happened?
I only saw Furina's part myself.
Focalor destroyed the divine throne of the Hydro Archon and restored your power to you, transforming you into a fully fledged elemental dragon sovereign. But Paimon still doesn't quite get what you did to save the Fontainians from dissolving.
For me, the authority of the ancient dragons refers to absolute control over the hydro element.
Meaning his absolute control over...
Fontainians were incomplete humans born of Egeria's use of the power of the primordial
or
sea,
that.
with constitutions similar to that of mimics. But so long as those primordial energies remain within them, I could use the ancient dragon's authority to grant them true blood, after the fashion in which life was first brought into being on this planet. In other words, when I gave my verdict, Fontainians became true humans, and thus would naturally no longer be dissolved by water from the primordial sea.
Oh.
Focalor must have counted on you to make that decision as well. Your verdict was the key to making the prophecy appear to have come true while saving everyone.
You could say that it was at that moment that the Fontainians were finally truly born.
Yeah, and in a manner of speaking, Focalor finally managed to fulfill the original Hydro Archon's wish to turn Oceanids into real people too.
It seems from your expressions that you still have more things you wish to ask.
Yep, much more things that I would only
Ask
get
away.
given.
I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Alright. About the initial verdict that was passed on Child.
I have investigated his case along many avenues, and I have learned that he once fell into an unknown chasm when he was young. There, by chance, he awakened the all-devouring narwhal. But whether it be by sentiment or reason, that should not have been enough to consider him the root cause of the disaster. At most, he would have had tangential liability.
Yeah, he was also young
As to
too.
the judgment
He didn't do
passed
that on
by the
purpose.
oratory during the trial, whether it was due to that liability by association, or Focalor deliberately using him to buy time for us on the assumption that he would be able to hold the creature off, I cannot say.
Guess Focalor had Fontainians in mind the whole time. In the end, it was thanks to her that they finally became real humans. Hang on a second. Paimon suddenly got another question. Back when Fontainians hadn't yet become real humans, were the children they had also transformed Oceanids?
Life has always flowed like water. Do you recall how Fontainians would often come to the Fountain of Lucine to pray for children?
Yeah, Lynette said the fountain is where all the waters in Fontaine converge.
In truth, even those couples did not know that such prayers were no mere custom, but instead a form of ritual. Those Oceanids who were blessed within the spring water would later descend as new humans in the coming months.
Paimon sorta gets it now. Either way, seems like this ritual won't be of any further use, but it'll probably live on as a local custom.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
So, about Fontaine's future.
Yeah, about that. Risley said Furina has already left. What's that all about?
Ah, Lady Furina. The people are only aware that her death sentence has not been carried out. She abdicated the post of Hydro Archon and left affairs related to that title to me, before leaving the Opera House. I related Focalor's words to her faithfully and completely. After hearing them, she seemed neither saddened nor comforted. She simply said that she was tired, and needed to rest. Having said that, she then packed her things and moved out of the opera house, not unlike how an ordinary person might.
But she's still got a place to stay, right?
You need not worry. I will make arrangements to ensure that she will not want for food, clothing, board, or travel. In truth, I am somewhat happy for her. The wear and tear on her spirit will, of course, take time to heal. But now that she no longer has to play the role of Focalor the Hydro Archon, she can finally lay down her burdens and lead a normal life.
Sort of normal life.
What about you then? What are your plans now that you've regained your full powers as the Hydro Dragon?
After Focalor passed on, the Oratrice also ceased to function. This matter will directly affect our trials. After much careful consideration, I've decided to take over its role in our courts. From now on, I shall hear cases and pass verdicts by myself.
Neuvillette is finally a judge. An actual judge who does all the
As an elemental dragon, there are
verdicts.
indeed many things that I must do. But this power and this duty, in a manner of speaking, you could say that both were granted to me. As such, before I attend to my other responsibilities, I must first and foremost continue to serve Fontaine as its highest judge. The duty of the Hydro Sovereign and the duty of the Eudex shall coexist within my person. Additionally, the Hydro Archon's departure has brought about another problem, which is that the Opera House shall no longer produce indemnitium.
That's true. That power was derived from the people's faith in the Hydro Archon, wasn't it? Wait, but the various mechs and machines in the city are all still okay. Where are they getting their energy from?
As I am now, I have full command over New Musia, and it can serve as a complete substitute. Another reason why I cannot quite leave Fontaine immediately.
Wow. This ancient dragon's authority stuff is really quite useful, huh?
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know
I
it.
mean, he's the one who originally had everything. Technically, the Dragon of Sovereign was the original ones that had power over all of this stuff, so... About Fontaine's Gnosis...
Oh, that's right! They say you've given it to the knave as a diplomatic gift or something!
Leaving aside their intentionality, the two Fatui Harbingers have indeed done much for us during this crisis.
Also, there's no one to
This
use the
sole
freaking
remaining goal in
Gnosis.
Fontaine, at least at this point, would seem to be the Gnosis. The Oratrice has ceased to function. The Hydro Archon's divine throne is now no more, and I do not need the Gnosis's power. As such, it has lost all meaning for Fontaine. If the Fatui have impure designs, then we might as well accede to their request now, and avoid unnecessary conflict.
What complicated considerations! Paimon thought you were just giving it to them out of gratitude to the knave and as an apology to Child.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I
Okay,
know.
he just gave it away because, you know, he just doesn't want any conflict in the future. About the next step on my journey, aka, what is Natlan like?
You will
Kind
soon
of.
be heading to Natlan, I presume.
Natlan, yes.
I'm afraid that I have little talent as a travel guide, so all I can do is tell you what I know about that land.
Give me that information, that's all I need.
As far as I'm aware, Natlan can be said to be a nation of dragons.
What?
A nation of dragons?
Oh my god, we're gonna get Dragon City.
No, I suspect
That's
that
an actual
I would
game.
not find myself welcome there. Unlike ancient dragons such as myself, the dragons of Natlan have undergone long years of development and evolution. Large numbers of them have entered a form of coexistence with humanity. Natlan is also the nation of war. War ravages those lands like an undying flame. There is one other piece of information I got incidentally from my negotiations with the knave that I believe may be useful to you. The harbinger known as the Captain has thrown his hat into the endless ring of war.
The captain. Sounds like a real tough customer. Seriously, everywhere you look, there's a Fatui Harbinger doing their thing.
I suggest that you fully prepare yourself before going to
The
Natlan.
captain is the...
In the
I'm trying to
meantime,
remember from
Fontaine's
the...
doors will always be
I
open to
keep
you.
saying the funeral. Yeah, seems like Natlan's gonna be a
Ask
little bit
away.
of a harder
I
place.
will tell you the truth as I know it.
It seems like, I'm trying to remember, oh my god. Trying to remember who the captain is. I think it's the big guy and kind of like the mech thing that Child wants to fight. I think he's the captain. I'm pretty sure he is. Because, they don't deliberately tell you. You kind of just have to figure it out yourself and be like, okay, yeah, this is who's who, you know? So, yeah. I have no more questions.
Hang on a sec. Paimon's still got a question about the Gnosis. When we spoke to Linny earlier, he mentioned that your attitude towards giving away the Gnosis had clearly changed. We guessed that there might be some reason for it that only you were aware of.
No wonder the House of the Hearth is the Fatui's intelligence division. They are certainly sharp. So regarding this specific issue, I was just getting ready to share something with you.
What is it?
In truth, I exchanged some further words with that lady named Skirk after sending you two back to the surface. It went something like this.
Ooh, additional information. Additional. I said additional by accident.
Well, we're going to head topside to see what's going on. You hurry over soon as well, all right, Neuvillette? Whoa!
What next?
The all-devouring narwhal isn't here, so I'm no longer getting any interference. I can finally catch the scent of your power, what it's made of. It is the authority of the planet's primordial dragons, but with something very similar to a god's curse mixed in. It's quite a novel blend. I'm sure I've encountered something like this before. What was it again?
I do not know what you speak of.
Of course. How could I forget? You should have the remains of the third descender on your person, yes?
What?
Remains? I've never heard of any such thing.
According to your parlance, I believe it may be called a gnosis.
Wait, are Gnosis created from a descender? Or is it just that one, like Aegirus was a descender?
Well, that much is true. After Focalor's divinity faded, she handed her gnosis to me. But I fear I have never heard of it described in the manner that you just did.
I've been training with my master, the Foul, ever since I was young, and I have never returned to the surface since. So most of the information I possess, I got from him. It is only natural for those who are greater than humanity to possess a different sort of common sense, which is why there are so many problems in our attempts to communicate with humans. Regardless, you should probably get rid of objects of misfortune to prevent any disasters from befalling you.
Wait, does this mean every single other Archon, if it's not just this Gnosis, it's just all the other ones, found out eventually that what's causing them harm and everything is the Gnosis, because it's created from a Descender, which probably has some curse or something laid up on it, because, well, that Descender is dead or something. Wait, we're the fourth one, right? Yeah, there's 3 others before us. So we're the 4th one. So that means that they probably got rid of their Gnosis all intentionally just to get rid of any of that bad luck. And since each of their nations basically kind of have been thriving after giving away their Gnosis, that makes much more sense in some aspects in the game, especially with how some would get their Gnosis. Which we don't have a time frame of when they got it, but if they got it and then, you know, that whole big event happened, because technically wouldn't our sibling... No, they're not a Descender.
To live
Let's just
in
keep going.
itself is a blessing. But once a person dies, the bonds he once had with this world shall all turn to curses.
What do you mean by that?
No need to fret. These are just my personal thoughts, and my reason for no longer wishing to return to the surface.
So the third Descender did something to that, to where probably did affect the Cataclysm too. It probably went to the Cataclysm. But they did something where they probably laid roots down into that and they got killed or something. They said they died, but you know, I'm gonna guess they got killed. And because of that, or whatever power they had, the Gnosis was made from them. Because they had some way of communication. I just don't know 100%. I'm guessing here. My own little theory, I guess. And because of that, gave it to all the Archons as a way to kind of remind them of what could happen, or it's just a way to bring them bad luck and to make sure that they won't get out of line. I just don't know.
This third descender you refer to, who are they? And when did they die?
Just give us a who. That's it. All I need is a name. You don't have to tell me when they died.
Master never mentioned them to me. Perhaps it just wasn't that important for me to know.
Dang it, game.
If you're interested, though, I could ask him. I'll be sure to pass the answer on to you next time.
Next time? You believe we will meet again?
I do. Wait. I have a disciple of my own, don't I? He can be the messenger then.
She just went, I'll meet you personally. Wait a second, I can palm this off on someone else. Alright, I'll make Child do it. I don't want to do it. So that means the theories of Zhongli being the third descender was wrong.
That's what she told me.
So,
whether it would
a lot of
prove
people were
useful or
just
not,
fixated on the
I
third
wanted to
descender
pass that
more than like the
information
first or
on to
second
you.
ones. Probably because the third descender was kind of more important that they mentioned more. But you know.
The remains of the third descender? So that's what the Gnosis actually are. Paimon just thought they looked like chess pieces. How could they be a person's remains?
That's what everybody was saying. They're like
All
chess
the same,
pieces.
assuming that there was no misunderstanding or special metaphor at play, that is what she meant to say.
I'm betting that they got murdered.
Misfortune and that you should check it, which is why you gave it to the Fatui.
If she speaks the truth, then I would simply be putting Fontaine at unnecessary risk by keeping it here.
Honestly, I'd chuck that thing too if it was literally someone's bodily remains, kind of. A descender. She mentioned one of them? I am the fourth descender. This information makes me think from 1, that the Gnosis are related to descenders, and 2, that the one who came before me has already died.
I guessed that you might already be familiar with this concept, but I did not expect you to be one of them.
Alright, I don't come
That
from
means
this
that
world.
The Gnosis, which are exceedingly element compatible and can even enhance elemental abilities, do indeed come from the third
Because,
descender.
oh, because we can take each element.
I wonder, does your body also possess similar properties?
I'm not letting you cut me up.
Like being able to use elemental powers without a vision. That does sort of count as special compatibility, right?
That's true. That's like what I
let's
just
not
said.
think about this stuff right now. It just feels creepy.
Probably because each person who has come.
To the dead third descender and all.
It's most likely because their parts remains were made to enhance. It probably is to enhance the power, the elemental connection to that element. Since it seems Traveler can just get any element within touching like the statue. You know, or being it says it's a statue. We've always been shown as a statue. We don't know exactly what the statue's whole important thing is, but if it's from that sense to where naturally there is an organic way for descenders to be able to be compatible with all elements and use them like interchangeably or make like 2 of the same, like mix 2 of them together, then that would technically make them really overpowered and be a risk to what the gods of Celestia or the heavenly principles, I'm pretty sure it's just the group name, of a harm to them or liability or something that can mess up the plan. So they probably kill the descender, took and had them, I don't know how, but had it resonated with each of the elements, give it to the Archons that they wanted to rule over each region, saying, you get this one, you get this one, you get this one, you get this one, you get this one. Each of them already have a strong compatibility to that element already, most likely, especially with how Ventis is. how his was like already a wisp, like an animal wisp. So he had a strong compatibility with that. I think Zhongli was already like a dragon of Geo. Strong compatibility with that. And so, I mean, this is just a big lore drop right here. I said yes, I wanted some lore, but I wasn't expecting this big of a lore drop, okay? This is changing everything and making my mind run like mile a minute. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Don't worry. I won't die so easily.
That's what you say, but this topic still feels like bad luck.
I won't die. I haven't died yet.
Let's get some
I
more
don't plan
answers
to
out of
die.
him. Or go look for his master and get the answers that way.
You think I'll be able to find
I
Skirk
too
that
believe it
easily?
unwise to make too many blind guesses when information is lacking. The same is true of being at court.
Okay, I can make theories because there's other things I'll start backing up, but it's just fun to make theories for now. So stop telling me not to do it.
All of Focalor's efforts were for this moment as well.
But she sacrificed herself in the end as a god, and she suffered through all those years as a human. Was that really what she wanted?
That's why she let Farina
I suppose
exist.
that would be the mystery of a god's will.
Can you understand the will of the gods?
I suspect not. But once in a while I too would guess that if wishes were like the clouds in the sky, they will one day return to the earth as raindrops. Life flows like water, and rain is the final answer. The water levels may sometimes tilt one way or another, but the rain falls fairly upon all. And what, ultimately, is the difference between the rains that fall upon all of us?
Masquerade of Guilty. Completed. And that was it. I'm looking now and I can't believe it's like an hour. I don't know how I did. It's like an hour. It's like 50 minutes. I don't know how I did this, get it for so long. Oh my goodness gracious. No. Stand right next. Well, that was... We got a big lore drop. Now he's staring at me. Got a big lore drop, and now we can finally close the curtains for Fontaine, the Archon story quest. And I would say you wouldn't see me until Natlan, but that wouldn't be true, because I know that an epilogue will pop up, which will be about Kaeya, and I hope that... I doubt Skirk will appear or something, especially with what she said. But I hope we get more about Kaeya, and it might link to what we just got about the Gnosis. And this means that we have also a high chance of dying too. Especially since we're getting involved with this, and the Heavenly Principles, I'm going to say, is most likely the ones that killed the Third Ascender. But I hope that you enjoyed Fontaine's Archon story quest. Again, so far probably like my favorite story quest out of all the other ones. It's also like this one finally amping things all the way up, starting to amp things up. And I'll see you once the epilogue comes out. So bye bye!